Relative clauses are like adding a little extra information to your sentences. They tell us more about a noun, which could be a person, place, or thing. Think of them like little detectives that give us clues about the noun. There are two main types of relative clauses, defining and non-defining. Don't worry, we'll break down each one. These clauses help make your sentences clearer and more interesting. By the end of this article, you'll be a relative clause master. Defining relative clauses are like the VIPs of sentences. They play a crucial role in providing essential information that helps us understand exactly which noun we're talking about. Imagine trying to describe something without being specific. It would be like trying to find a needle in a haystack. These clauses give us the necessary details that make our sentences clear and precise. For instance, if I say, "The book is on the table," you might wonder which book I'm referring to. But if I say, "The book that has a blue cover is on the table," it becomes crystal clear. Without defining relative clauses, our sentences would often leave listeners or readers puzzled, trying to piece together incomplete information. It's like giving someone a puzzle with missing pieces. The picture just doesn't come together. We introduce these clauses with special words called relative pronouns. These pronouns act as bridges, connecting the additional information to the main part of the sentence. Some of the most common relative pronouns include who, that, which, where, and whose. Let's break them down. Who and that are used for people. For example, the teacher who inspires me the most is Mr. Smith. Here, who inspires me the most is the defining relative clause, giving us essential information about the teacher. Another example is, the woman who is wearing the red dress is my aunt. This clause helps us identify exactly which woman we're talking about, making the sentence much more informative. When it comes to things, we use which or that. For instance, the book that I'm reading is very interesting. Here, that I'm reading is the defining relative clause, specifying which book is being referred to. Another example could be, the car which has a sunroof is mine. This clause tells us exactly which car is being talked about, leaving no room for ambiguity. For places, we use the relative pronoun where. For example, the restaurant where we had dinner was fantastic. The clause where we had dinner specifies the restaurant, making the sentence clear and specific. Another example is, the city where I grew up is beautiful. This clause helps us understand exactly which city is being referred to, providing essential context. The relative pronoun whose shows possession. For instance, the boy whose dog ran away is very sad. Here, whose dog ran away is the defining relative clause, giving us crucial information about the boy. Remember, defining relative clauses are essential and don't use commas. They are integral to the meaning of the sentence, and without them, the sentence would lose its clarity and precision. So next time you craft a sentence, think about these VIPs and how they can help you convey your message more effectively. Non-defining relative clauses are like bonus information. They provide additional context and details that enhance our understanding of the subject. Think of them as the extra sprinkles on a cupcake, making it more delightful. They give us extra details about the noun, but we don't need them to understand the main point of the sentence. For instance, if I say, my friend, who is a talented musician, just released a new album, the main point is that my friend released a new album. The fact that they are a talented musician is extra information. They are like little side comments that add flavor. Just as a chef adds spices to enhance the taste of a dish, these clauses enhance the richness of our sentences. They make our language more colorful and engaging. We use commas to separate these clauses from the rest of the sentence. This separation helps the reader or listener easily identify the main point without getting lost in the additional details. It's like giving a brief pause to let the extra information sink in. So, who, which, used for people and things. Here are some examples. These words help us introduce the extra information smoothly. Who is used for people and which is used for things or animals. My sister, who lives in Paris, is a chef. In this sentence, the main point is that my sister is a chef. The fact that she lives in Paris is additional information that gives us more context about her life. The Eiffel Tower, which is in France, is a famous landmark. Here, the main point is that the Eiffel Tower is a famous landmark. The fact that it is in France is extra information that adds to our understanding. Notice how we can remove the information in the commas and the sentence still makes sense? This is the key feature of non-defining relative clauses. They are not essential to the main point, but provide valuable context. By understanding how to use them, we can make our writing more nuanced and informative. Commas are super important in non-defining relative clauses. They act as little pauses, separating the extra information from the main part of the sentence. Think of them as breathing room for your sentences. Here's how to use commas correctly. Put a comma before the relative pronoun, who, which. Put another comma after the non-defining clause. Example: my new phone, which has a great camera, was a birthday gift. Section 5. Advanced non-defining clauses, quantifiers and sentence comments. Ready to level up your relative clause game? Let's look at some advanced ways to use non-defining clauses. First, let's talk about we can use quantifiers like some of, many of, or all of within non-defining clauses. For example, the students, many of whom were from different countries, enjoyed the cultural exchange program. Next, let's discuss. Non-defining clauses can even comment on the whole sentence. For instance, she passed the driving test on her first try, which surprised everyone. Section 6. Common errors and how to avoid them. In this section, we will delve into some of the most frequent mistakes that even advanced English learners tend to make. By understanding these errors, you can significantly improve your language skills and communicate more effectively. Even seasoned English learners make mistakes with relative clauses. These clauses are essential for adding extra information to a sentence, but they can be tricky to use correctly. Misusing them can lead to confusion and miscommunication. Here are some common traps and how to steer clear. First, using that in non-defining clauses. This is a frequent error that can easily be avoided with a bit of practice and attention to detail. Non-defining clauses provide additional information that is not essential to the meaning of the sentence. For these clauses, we should use who or which, not that. Remember, we only use who or which in non-defining clauses, never that. For example, consider the sentence, "The cat that I adopted last year loves to play." This is incorrect. Incorrect. The cat that I adopted last year loves to play. The correct way to phrase this would be, "The cat, which I adopted last year, loves to play." Correct. The cat, which I adopted last year, loves to play. Second, forgetting commas. Commas are crucial in non-defining clauses because they set off the additional information from the rest of the sentence. Commas are crucial in non-defining clauses. They help to clearly separate the extra information, making the sentence easier to read and understand. For instance, "My friend who is a doctor just had a baby" is incorrect because it lacks the necessary commas. Incorrect, "My friend who is a doctor just had a baby." The correct version should be, "My friend who is a doctor just had a baby." The commas here are essential to indicate that the information about the friend being a doctor is additional and not crucial to the main point of the sentence. Correct. "My friend who is a doctor just had a baby." By paying attention to these details, you can avoid common pitfalls and make your English writing clearer and more precise. Practice these tips regularly, and soon they will become second nature. Section 7. Summary. Defining versus non-defining. Let's recap. Defining relative clauses provide essential information to identify the noun. No commas. Non-defining relative clauses give extra information about the noun. Always use commas. Remember the relative pronouns who, whom, whose, which, that, where. Choose the right one based on whether you're talking about a person, thing, or place. Section 8. Practice makes perfect exercises for mastery. Ready to test your skills? Try these exercises. First, combine the sentences using a relative clause. A. I met a famous author. He wrote my favorite book. B. The museum is closed on Mondays. I wanted to visit it. Second, add commas where necessary. A. The coffee shop which has the best pastries is on my street. Bar. My brother, who is a musician, is coming to visit next month. Section 9. Further resources expanding your knowledge. Want to dive deeper into relative clauses? Check out these resources. BBC Learning English, Grammarly, Oxford Learners Dictionaries. Keep practicing and you'll be a relative clause pro in no time.